Welcome back, guys, to Miss Nixon's Math Corner. Today we're going to be talking about order of operations, and that is what we use when we come across problems that have multiple operations. And multiple operations means it's a problem with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. There's always a rule that we have to follow when we have those many different operations in one problem. So we're going to be creating a foldable today, and we're going to glue it in our journals when we get to class. So our title is Order of Operations. And this is the rule that we're going to follow every time we come across those problems with multiple operations. So the very first thing that we always work when we come across one of those problems are our groupings. Now groupings are the parentheses, brackets, all of those things that you'll be seeing in the problems. So we always perform operations inside of parentheses or brackets first. So that's what we always do first, is our parentheses or our brackets, and parentheses look like this, and brackets look like that. Now the next thing that you would always complete would be exponents. But lucky for us, in the 5th grade, we don't use exponents. But this is what they look like. You would have a regular number, and then you'll have a small number to the right of it, like that. And we're just going to put, we don't use exponents in the 5th grade. After we complete our exponents, our next operation that we would work with is multiplication and division. So I'm going to put multiply / divide. Now, we always multiply or divide from left to right. So we always multiply or divide from left to right. Multiplication is not always first. So just because we say multiply first, it does not always come first in the problem. Whichever one comes first is the one we always do. So if division comes first, then we do division first. Now that we're in the 5th grade, there are a couple of extra multiplication symbols that you might see. Of course, we know this X means to multiply. Now you may see something that looks like that. That's a dot. Sometimes you may see that in multiplication. And sometimes you may see parentheses that mean multiplication. So here's what it would look like. This is 4 times 3. That's not a decimal, that's a multiplication symbol. This is also 4 times 3. And this is also 4 times 3. Whenever you see a number right beside the parentheses, that means to multiply. Okay, I'm going to flip to the next page. Our next step is add / subtract. And the addition and subtraction rule is just like the multiplication and division rule. You add or subtract from left to right. And just like multiplication, addition is not always first. And finally, just so that we have some special notes to remind us of how we solve our problems with multiple operations, we have some special notes. My first note is always write GEMDAS for any problem that has multiple operations. And GEMDAS is just short for all the rules that we just wrote. We talked about groupings, exponents, multiplying and dividing, adding and subtracting. So that's our GEMDAS rule. And we'll talk more about that when you come into class tomorrow. Always, our next rule is always rewrite the problem after every step. So every time we have a problem with multiple operations, we're going to write the problem, we'll solve a step, then we're going to rewrite the problem and do the next step, and we'll rewrite the problem every single time. So I'm just going to do a quick example. So let's say we have 20 minus 10 divided by 2. Now I see that my problem has multiple operations, so I'm going to write GEMDAS, and this is going to tell me or help me remember which order I should solve my problem. I always start with my G, and we said my G stands for groupings. I look at my problem, I don't have any parentheses or brackets. Next, I'm going to go to my E, and we said that we don't have exponents in the 5th grade, so we're going to go ahead and mark that one out too. Now I have my multiply and divide. So I'm going to look at my problem and see if I have any multiplication or division. And I do have division. So I'm going to solve my division part first. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now I've finished my first step. The very next thing I do is bring down the rest of my problem. So I'm going to bring down my 20 and my subtraction sign. It looks like I'm done with my multiplication and my division. So now I'm going to see if I have any addition or subtraction. I have subtraction. 20 minus 5 is 15. And I don't have anything else left, so I'm done. And notice how my problem kind of looks like a gem or a pie. This is what our problem should look like every time we're done solving. Alright guys, those are our notes for today. Come to class ready and prepared for any questions that you may have. We're going to be practicing. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.